The programs described in this lesson use the methods of the graphics class to fill overlapping rectangular areas with color. You can draw lots of things into the same window, and whatever you draw last will appear on top of whatever you've drawn earlier. Knowing that makes it easy to have things overlap the way you want them to, like we're going to do here. This program is named Fill Squares. It's a frame that loads and displays a canvas component, which is named F-squares. You've probably noticed that I keep referring to classes that extend the Canvas class as being components. That's because the Canvas class extends the component class, and there are lots of components in Java. There are things like menus and push buttons and scroll bars and all sorts of displayable objects, and Canvas is one of them. The F-squares class extends the Canvas class. The constructor sets the size of the window to 200 by 200 pixels and sets the default background color to something other than white. Notice that the paint method uses the method Fill Rect 3 times to render 3 color-filled squares in the window. A new color object is stored in the graphics object just before each square is filled, so each one is filled with a different color. Here's what happens when you compile and run the program. Oh, wait, before I do that, notice that this class is named F-squares instead of just squares like I named the one in the previous lesson. The reason for this is that the compiler is going to produce a file named fsquares.class. If I had named the class squares, it would have produced a file named squares.class, just like in the previous lesson, and this new class file would have overwritten the other one. You must be very careful not to have two classes with the same name in the same directory, and it's certainly possible to do that accidentally. This can cause a very confusing bug that seems to go away every time you recompile things. Chasing a bug like that is like a dog chasing his tail. You can see it, but you can't quite get it. Each square painted in the window is smaller than the one that was painted before it, so the smaller squares come out on top. The color selection could probably have been better, but I don't have any taste, so it doesn't matter to me. The background color, magenta, is the one that forms the frame color around the outside edge. The next square is yellow, then comes red, then at the center, the black square is painted on top and is the only one that is not partially obscured. Let's make a modification to this program so it uses rectangles instead of squares. It's easy to do because all we have to do is change some of the dimensions. To keep it simple, I just added 100 to the height of everything. The window is 100 pixels taller, and each of the rectangles is 100 pixels taller than it was when it was a square. Other than that, everything was left exactly the same. When you compile and run it, it looks like this.